All right, so today is my first day back from practical board repair school, and as you can see, it completely looks like that I have not been here for 6 days. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and a USB drive for data recovery. So yeah, this sucks. As much of a clutter as I can be at times, there's nothing that I dislike more than having a mess in front of me. I despise messes, so let's get started. I may be a little quicker in explaining everything I'm doing as I'm going to do some of these board repairs because I am in a rush to get rid of the mess, which means not having as much time to spend showing you exactly what it is I do. So I attach this first board. It's an 820-2879, and I get no green light. Now, unfortunately, this is if you're new to the channel, this is not the first video to watch because this is going to be missing and skipping out on a lot of basics that I usually go through with people just because I want to get this stuff done. So I am missing 3.42 volts most likely because I don't have the green light in the charger. Let's just see if that's the case here. So I'm going to take the multimeter, put it up there so you can see it. I'm going to measure for 3.42 volts at U6901, which is for the one-wire circuit. The one-wire circuit is what allows the charger to talk to the computer, and I get 1.179 volts. Now, it could be that via is destroyed, like it very often is on these 2009-10 H1278 boards, or it could just be that power supply is not what it's supposed to be. So I'm going to check right next to where that inductor is that creates it, and I get the exact same thing. Now, I'm not going to really be looking for a short to ground because if I had a short to ground, I kind of expect it to be closer to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the board schematic. I'm going to look for where the regulator is that creates PP3V42's power supplies. So let's open that. I actually kind of feel like installing Sumatra PDF. For some reason I didn't like it, and I forget why it is I didn't like it because I used it while I was doing the practical board repair school thing this whole week, and I loved it. So I am switching to Sumatra PDF until I remember why it is I didn't like it. Adobe PDF Reader can go fuck itself and die. I have no patience for... This is a 3.8 gigahertz hex core computer with SSDs in RAID 0 and 16 gigabytes of RAM and a dedicated graphics chip running literally nothing else. You can't tell me there's a reason for the PDF Reader to lag. You can't. You can't. And with the Haswell 6-core machine, 16 gigs of RAM, RAID 0, you can't make a stupid little schematic PDF load slow. That's just embarrassing. It's insulting, and no, Adobe is... No, fuck off, Adobe. I never liked Foxit because I didn't find it to be much better, and it had too much shit and clutter at the top. So let's just make sure that I have it set up so that you're viewing... So you're viewing... There we go. So you can see what it is I'm talking about. So let's see. What creates PP3V42 and why do I care? U6990. U6990 creates it. U6990. Yeah, which is right over here. So again, one of the things I talked about was the one-wire circuit. So here is the charger coming into the machine. See, that's the 18 volts coming into the machine. That's adapter sense. So this is where the charger is going to talk to the computer. That goes to this chip on external, and on internal, sys1 wire is where it talks to the SMC. So this chip allows the charger to talk to the SMC, but it's not going to do that if it doesn't have 3.42 volts here, which gets provided by this chip, if this chip has 3.42 volts. When I measure for PP3V42, which is this power supply over here, when I measure for that over here, I get 1 volt. So let's take a look at what that area looks like first. So I'm going to try and look at what U6990 looks like. Fuck you, Windows 10. I have no interest in upgrading. And... why did it just switch over to the microscope? Why are you doing this silly shit? Why? Open broadcaster. What did I do? Alright. Let's open the board schematic. Delete this. Not the schematic, open the board view. See, U6990, right? So I go to U6990 and it tells me that it's right up here. So now I'm going to switch over to the microscope, which is really a view of my nasty, disgusting IKEA table that I've been destroying systematically. So let's get a view over at that area and see what I have. And oh, hello, burn spot. So on the top, I have 4 nice legs that look nice. See? Nice. On the bottom, I have cock and balls. All right, so that chip needs to be replaced. Now, the problem here is that this board is 5 years old. So being that this board is 5 years old, now I have to try and find a donor board. And I have not even started unpacking. Like, yeah, so. There's actually a set of cool stuff behind me here that I really wanted to make a shout out to the people who sent it. So James, thank you very much for getting me these flux syringes. I promise I'll be unpacking them. Civil Lizard, thank you very much for the microphone, light, and other things that I need to unpack. But yeah, again, I haven't even unpacked my own damn bag yet. So I appreciate all this stuff. I assure you I haven't ignored it. I always appreciate when people contribute things without me asking. That's very nice. At the same time, I have not even had the time to pick up any of this stuff. So this is a board that has a hole in it right by the backlight area, and I don't care about the backlight area, so let's work on that. And I didn't unpack my desoldering tips or soldering tips or mofo. All right, let's go with Curvy Tip. Tell me you made it back. Please tell me you made it back, Curvy Tip. I can't. Thank God. T15-JO2. That's T15-JO2. The best tip you will ever use on the HAKKO FM 2027 iron. Okay, let's turn this stuff on. I'm back to my HAKKO FR801. Boo. You know, this is going to sound spoiled as hell, so I got to try out this JBC hot air station. I forget the model number of it. So I got to try out this JBC hot air station, and it's amazing. Like, firstly, I was trying to get a keyboard connector on this Retina board off by heating the bottom of it, and usually that works, but on this particular board for this particular connector, it wouldn't come off. With the heat on 8 and the air on something like 20 or 25, it would not come off. That JBC took that connector off in 19 seconds. Like, I mean, I get the thing hot, I put it under there, in 19 seconds it's done. This FR801 couldn't get it off in 5 minutes. It has an antimicrobial grip to it. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, because I didn't do well in school, but like, this is a standard grip. That one is the type of grip where even if your hands are greasy, and not that you should be working with greasy hands anyway, this JBC hot air station had this amazing grip where you just didn't get grease on it. So if your hand had a little bit of flux or a little bit of sweat, you could touch this thing and it wouldn't retain it. It looked beautiful. It felt beautiful. It was beautiful. And it even had, you know how the new digital ones, when you're trying to put the air up and down or the temperature up and down, you know how on these new bullshit HAKKO designs like the FR810 and the FX951, you have to figure out what this cryptic shit means? Like, you have a star and a number. Like, what the fuck is a star and what's the asterisk and the number sign for and the pound sign? I want to go up, hotter, down, cooler. I want like a knob for air and a knob for temperature. If you're not going to give me that, at least give me a good interface. The JBC interface was amazing, and I really wanted this thing. I really wanted it. Jessica got one as some type of demo, and I was so stoked to come back home and buy this thing, and then I realized, oh, it's $1,816, and my FR801 was $650. No thanks. Like, no. Amazing hot air station. Fucking amazing hot air station, but mine already works. And that one, they want $1,800. Like, again, JBC makes great tools. People are always asking me on this channel, what do you think of JBC? Why don't you have any JBC? JBC makes amazing tools. And you're right, JBC makes amazing quality tools. And every time I have the honor or privilege of being able to sit down at one, I go, man, why don't I have a JBC tool? This thing is absolutely fucking amazing. And then I go online and I Google and I see the price of it, and it's like, no. The other thing, because that's a good hot air station. Like, that's $100 better than this HAKKO. That's maybe even $200 better than my HAKKO. It is not $1,200 better than this HAKKO. So again, JBC makes some pretty cool tools. And if they're all that's available in your geographic area, they are amazing. But no. Does it get hotter? Yeah. Am I envious of it? Yeah. Do I want it? Of course. Am I going to spend a dime on it to replace the hot air station I have that works? No. But man, was that thing cool. I like new toys. So check this out. So you know what else is going to be wrong with this? So the 3.42 volt regulator got fucked. So what else do you think is going to be fucked after I do this? For those of you people who have really watched my series and have really been paying attention, what else do you think is going to be screwed up after I replace the 3.42 volt regulator IC? If your answer is the SMC, which runs off of 3.42 volts, and also the MCP's clock circuit, which runs off of 3.42 volts, you're absolutely right, which is why I'm going to spend virtually no time on this board. So if this thing works, so one of the common things that's going to happen is the MCP is dead, so it won't, the clock circuit is dead, so it won't turn on, or it'll be partially dead, so it'll turn on with like a black screen and nothing else, and it won't beep when there's no RAM plugged in, and or it'll turn on, the MCP won't get fucked up too badly, but what's going to happen is then it won't recognize the battery because the SMC will be blown because of the issue on the 3.42 volt line. Yeah, I just destroyed a pad. Lovely. Great job, Lewis. Anyway, so I'm going to spend a very, very low amount of time on this board because I've learned my lesson when working on 5- and 6-year-old pieces of shit to spending too much time on it. Because the thing is, again, all those parts, like when I did that video that was 3 or 4 hours long and you got to see me replacing all this shit only for the SMC to be bad at the end, like that is really what happens. Like you have all these people that are like, no, you have to fix everything. It's wrong to not fix everything. You have to work on everything. It's not just about the worth of the device. It's about recycling and keeping things out of our landfill. And if you don't care about keeping things out of our landfill, then that's wrong. Well, I want to see you motherfuckers get NVIDIA to print up new MCPs, and I want you to get Apple to give me programming to these SMCs so that I can buy them. Oh, you can't do that. What's that? You can't figure out how to get manufacturers to fabricate chips from 6 years ago because it's not at all profitable? Oh, what's that? You can't get Apple to give me programming? Oh, then shut the fuck up. Really, because like a lot of these people, I mean, this really gets me. A lot of these people that go on and on and on about how it's just so important to recycle. It's so important to keep alive old shit. You are the exact same people. You're the exact same people that are not providing any actual help. You're the people who are not sitting in a chair trying to get 6-year-old shit to work again. You're the exact same people that have absolutely no idea what the practical challenges are that face anybody that would like to live in your little idealistic world. And as a result of that, I just give no credence to any of your bitching. It's time for me to get some alcohol. All right. Beep. Now we get ourselves a little jumper wire. So the jumper wire I'm getting here, I'm taking from an old battery. Old A1286 battery. You're not as sharp as you used to be. Mofo. friggin' little wire. There was one person at the practical board repair school that Jessa and I are teaching that I'm convinced. Like, I'm 99% convinced that he only came to the course because he did not believe that Jessa was able to do trace repair with tiny wires. And it was funny just watching her face while she did it. Yeah, I mean, the traces that I'm running are about 10 times the size of what she's running, and she does it easily, and I find it a nightmare. If I made money off of my soldering and not my brain, I would be bankrupt. That's kind of like a solder pad. Kind of looks like a middle finger, doesn't it? That's a shit stain of a pad. I really should do something about that. What is that, anyway? Is it the same thing? 8 and 6 are the same thing. Hmm. This is why I like having a lower zoom. Even though you can't see as much stuff, even though you can't see it as closely, you kind of see what's there a little better. Because when you're moving the board back and forth, you don't have to deal with going in and out of focus. So that's why I say with the microscope, like the adjustable zoom doesn't really do much for me because I use it at 10x most of the time anyway. But it is nice to have. And this microscope that I fixed it got is definitely way better than the one I had before, just for the fact that I can see out of both eyes when I'm soldering in the camera, which is awesome. Tell me I just moved my jumper. Oh, motherfuck. Did I really just do what I think I just did? Even though that pad is good and even though that pad is redundant with the other one, I still just want to make sure that I put something together that's making proper connectivity. I'm not a big fan of having a shit stain for a pad by something important. All right. It looks disgusting. Looks gross. Looks a little too crooked for my liking, actually. Yeah, it needs to be moved over for sure. Mofo. I think it would kill me to actually solder something straight. Like, I might just die. Nothing I do ever winds up being straight. It's a signature hallmark. This cap looks like cock and balls. It's missing the end. Goodbye. Rest in peace, capacitor. Nice try, little blob of solder. Okay, capacitor. Now, getting 3.42 volts is not really a problem for me. I'm not worried about that. Nor am I even worried about the fact that that capacitor looks like an idiot soldered it. What I'm really worried about is whether or not the 3.42 volt rails went down, just, went from 3 to 0, or 3 to 1 quickly, or if it went like 3, 17 charger voltage and 1, or if it was on the battery 3, then to 12, and then to 1. What I'm really kind of rooting for here is that it went down, and the reason is that, obviously if it went down, it wouldn't destroy other pieces. Charger. I should measure for a short to ground first before I plug the charger, and just in case I made a mistake. So I'll put this multimeter in diode mode right here. Take my red probe. We're going to take the red probe on ground. And the black probe on the output of PP3V42. That's not shorted. Not shorted. Okay, so if I plug it in, do I get a green light? Green light is the first step, but we still have many steps to go after that. So we get a green light, that's the first step, right? Now what are going to be my next steps? Does this thing turn on, and does it recognize the battery? So again, I can go into testing everything else later, because I have a fuck ton of other machines to do here, and I kind of like to do this stuff in an assembly line process when there's a lot to do. I'm not going to, reassemble and do all that other stuff because it kind of breaks the momentum. You just go from board to next board, next board, and then you put them all together, and then you can run ASD on all of them and check every little last function. You have a burned LCD cable. Mofo. All right. That will be... But I have a screen in here. I haven't unpacked it yet, but yeah, you're right there. All right, we'll test with this screen. Who am I kidding? That LCD connector is... Blah. Oh, yuck. This is after ultrasonicing. I don't even care if I get a picture right now. An image, backlight. I just want to see if I get a picture. This is how people take care of this. Some of this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this fucking disgusting shit. Ugh. Clean your stuff. I mean, that's the thing. Like when you have something that looks like that, I know you can't get inside the machine, but like this, there's different types of dirt, and this is disgusting. I mean, there's regular dust, and then there's this when it's actually a deep dark brown that's everywhere. That is just really off-putting. Like I am a bored repair person, not a fucking janitor. Because the thing is, I can't stand looking at that shit. So a lot of these machines, I will wind up spending 20 minutes cleaning. There's actually one machine where I that came here and I put it on Instagram. It had a little centipede or something that came out of it, and I spent about 10 minutes cleaning it. I didn't get every single last bit out of it because obviously that's fucking disgusting, and I have better things to do with my time. The dude actually left a review, like 4-star instead of 5, because he said his computer came back with a little bit of dirt on it, and it's like I was this close to like getting the centipede off the desk and mailing it to him. Just some of the stuff that you deal with sometimes. But yeah, just try to not be disgusting. Because again, if being disgusting, it's just disgusting, and there's no reason to be disgusting. It's just gross. So this is pretty cool. I know it recognizes the battery because when I hit the power button, it turns on from it. I know that it turns on because I see a fan spinning. Backlight is not expected on a board that looks like this. Looks like I used the battery's last bit of juice just there. Alrighty. Yeah, the light turns orange, so it has the capability to recognize the battery. Okay, and the LCD connector just so happens to burn me. That's no good. That's actually a little bit good. Because you see, it means that the pins 2, something's wrong with pins 2 and 3. But pins 2 and 3 would not be getting power if it wasn't recognizing the screen, and it wouldn't be recognizing the screen if the MCP didn't work. So even though I just burned my finger on something, that, believe it or not, that burning of my finger is actually a sign of something good. I know. I'm a salesman. Let's try cleaning off this LCD cable that looks like bleh. An LCD connector that looks like shit. We clean it off. Let's see if there's a short to ground over there. Okay, let's see. Backlight fuse is not blown. Backlight is not shorted to ground. Okay. Let's try it with the original screen. All right, so I see a picture but no backlight. Okay, let's try it with my screen now. Even if I don't actually get any backlight, what I like to do is I like to see what voltage it is I get on the backlight rail, because that'll give me an idea of what the problem actually is. All right, so get in there. Ah, you tried to... Now I see why that LCD connector looks like that. You tried to fix this yourself, didn't you? Oh, you sure did, and you bent it. Yeah, and you ripped off the tape over the Wi-Fi thingy. I'll tape that later. So on these older models with this 2008-9 Wi-Fi cable, there's a little pad on it, and if that pad touches the pins on the Wi-Fi connector, it'll stop working. So just something to be cognizant of. All right. All right. So what voltage do I get on backlight? 0, 12, 27. I get 12. All right. So that means it's not boosting, which is obviously because backlight enable resistor looks destroyed. All right. So backlight circuit time. Let's go over that. So this chip is being told to turn on when it gets 3 volts at backlight enable. 12 volts, which is what runs along the boost circuit here, so 12 is what gets turned into 27 for the screen. That runs here to this little part that says backlight enable. But that one's 3 volts, not 12. So what do? You use a voltage divider, which is a series of 2 resistors to step down the voltage from 12 to 3. So you have one resistor between 12 volts and where you want 3 to be, and another resistor between where you want 3 to be and ground. So you send some power to ground, and you let the rest of it go to here. And that pretty much, that's it. So R9731 and R9715. R9731 and R9715. R9731, R9715. R931, R9715, and... All right, let's see what those look like. All righty. Fuck off. Okay, that resistor's got to go. Air filter back on. Need the little shit stain of a pad ready. Mess. Yeah, show me copper. Okay, I got copper there. Gonna run a wire to make that trace more secure. Again, I always talk about the difference between the eBay person and the people who actually do it right. And I don't want to see this person again. Particularly with how disgusting this fucking laptop is. And part of that means doing the job right so that you don't see them again within warranty period or after warranty period. And it's these little things over here that are going to make sure that this doesn't come back for warranty. Because instead of having a shit stain for a pad going to the resistor to enable backlight, you're going to have a real pad. And that's a 12 volt line, not a low voltage line. So I want to make granted, even though it's not delivering high current, I still want to make sure that this is going to work and last and not fall apart one day outside the warranty, like some places whose business name rhymes with fuck you. Alrighty. Now that's a total mess of flux. I mean, that's just really disgusting even by my standards. Let's just blow some of that away. Because that is gross. Okay. That looks secure to me. Okay, and now I need a 300 kilo ohm resistor. There we go. Found one. Now I have to find my tweezers. Oh no, I did one of the worst things you can do, which is put something down. You... That was soldered long ago. I just kept it there too long and kept moving it and messing it up a little. Yeah. If my hands were steady, soldering would be easy, but they're not, so it's not easy. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have a backlight enabled now. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have a backlight. This is cool. I got some good luck. No dead MCP. No dead SMC. That's more common than you would think. Let me tell you. Way more common than you might think. First thing I'm going to do once I see this computer work is spend 30 minutes washing my hands in the ultrasonic cleaner. Still no backlight. What you talking about now? Ah. It beeps. It beeps. Which means that there's a good chance this was mostly a waste of time. Grr. Okay, so I decided to ultrasonic that board because it started beeping. So right after I was done with everything, that board was beeping. So I ultrasonicked it. I'm going to turn it on. So it's running off of the battery. Turns on. Got the Apple logo. Now this machine is a 2000. This is a hard drive in it from 2010. Why somebody agreed to fix this is beyond me. Because I'm honest and upfront with people. Like, if you have something that I find to be an old piece of shit, I'll tell you. I can fix it. If you would like to fix it, I will do it. But here are the many, many reasons you shouldn't, and here are all the alternatives, and here's what you're going to experience with this old thing. And if you want to do it, I'll do it. But I'm not a used car salesman. I'll let you know. I'm a salesman, but I'm not a used car salesman. Like, I'm not going to sell you something that takes, for $325, that takes half a fucking hour to boot into the operating system. So anyway, it boots. It boots. And all I'm looking for here is that it recognizes the battery. Oh, come on, you spinning little shit wheel. I can't, like, this is, I can't believe people deal with this. I mean, really. Like, how do you deal with a hard drive in 2015? Oh, God. How do you deal with a hard drive and 90,000 icons on the desktop in 2015? So, again, I'm 99% confident that my SMC can see a battery because it's running off of a battery, but I just want to make sure that I don't get that little red X. Not red X, the little black battery X in the upper right corner. And again, since I got an orange light in the charger here, that orange light in the charger tells me there's a 99% chance that I am good. Because yeah, you have to recognize the battery to charge the battery. Oh my god, we're still loading. Dude, computers with hard drives, like really. I mean, I understand if you got a file server that uses a hard drive. If you have a file server that uses a hard drive, that's fine. But like for your laptop or desktop computer that just sits in your home and runs basic programs, SSD. Okay, here we go. Battery has 8% remaining, which means that it sees the battery. So I'm done. This works. I'm good to go. You got to see it in real time. And again, hopefully you learned something.